Now at 6, a scary scene in downtown Portland as a historic building burns. Why fire and rescue is now worried part of the building could collapse. Plus,
I don't think I'm going to rebuild here because I don't ever want to have to relive a fire coming up this hill again.
The community of Spokane, Washington, devastated as multiple fires destroy hundreds of homes. One man stepped in to save his neighbor's home after his own burned down.
And your PG&E bill could increase again. How much the utility wants to increase prices this time, coming up as your news at sunrise starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Monday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Matthew Herchick. Glad to have you with us to start off your week. Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis both here, keeping an eye on the weather and traffic. We've got quite the warm-up coming this week, Rod.
We do, and it starts today in terms of warming temperatures. It was in the 70s both days over the weekend. Today we're going to rise well into the 80s. We are starting off with beautiful sunshine. The sun is now up. Here's the Schnickwitz Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City, 53 degrees. And here is the Vancouver, the Springs of the waterfront. A little bit of haze out in the sky this morning. Temperatures are pleasant. 54 degrees is the number. And here's our day moving forward. 74 at noon. We'll get up to about 87. Big change from the weekend. Also, concerns over increasing wildfire smoke into the Willamette Valley. That concern starts today, worsens tomorrow and Wednesdays. Temperatures eventually get up to 100 degrees or higher. More on that coming up. For now, here's Chris.
Rod, thank you for that. We pick it up with a traffic alert on the Interstate Bridge. I apologize, we've lost our first camera here, but the bridge is up for a bridge lift. And here's the look from the Vancouver Tower. And you can see traffic is stacked up now all the way back past Mill Plain, approaching SR 500. And of course, the northbound span is also up. So that means that northbound traffic right now is lined up to Jansen Beach and growing. We just looked at our Vancouver sky camera. The bridge is on its way back down. So hopefully traffic will start flowing again. But as always, there will be a residual delay here as that bridge lift. In fact, there it goes. It looks like it's starting to trickle right now, but there will be a residual delay. So expect that over the next half an hour. Also for West Side Max riders, the West Side Max Improvement Project enters week 2. That means shuttles are running between Merlot and Willow Creek. There are also some lane closures on West Baseline, and the Southwest 170th Avenue crossing is also closed. Matthew, China, back to you.
Chris, thank you. Well, we start with a stunning scene out of downtown Portland as smoke billowed from the historic Centennial Mills building. Firefighters have spent the night watching for possible flare-ups.
Fire crews say the 8-story building has been vacant for some time and no one appears to have been injured in the fire. Libby Dowsett is live along Nadeau Parkway in Northwest Portland with the latest. Libby, a lot more quiet there this morning.
Yeah, when we showed up, this building was glowing. Now, this is the former Columbia Mills building, now the Centennial Mills building. And if I step out of the way, you can see there's still smoke coming from the building. And through the windows, you can't see with the sunlight up now, but there are flames inside. Firefighters said they were staying here overnight to watch for hot spots. They say a drone team is expected to be out here today to map the building and try to help find the cause of the fire. Nearly 100 firefighters helped fight this 4-alarm fire. The call came in yesterday afternoon, just before 4. First responders shut down Nadeau Parkway as they attempted to get water on the 116-year-old building, which burned out of control for a couple hours. Fire crews were concerned about the water tower on top as the roof began to give way under it. Now, they fought this fire from the outside as embers started other spot fires in nearby grasses and landed on nearby buildings.
Spot fires in this dry vegetation throughout our community, as well as in the trees that just to the south. Upon my arrival, there was two hoses extinguishing a tree adjacent to an occupied condo complex.
And fire officials say this isn't the first fire at this building, and police say there have been reports of squatters. The city records show that this has been approved for apartments and retail space, but at this point there are flames still inside and it's still burning. Back to you.
Libby, thank you. Well, new video from the Spokane County Fire District shows crews desperately trying to fight back flames as Fast-moving wildfires rage across the area.
Multiple fires burning in Spokane have destroyed at least 600 homes, and officials are still working to confirm if anyone is hurt or missing. High winds and dry temperatures fueled the fires over the weekend, burning thousands of acres. Firefighters say this fire is much more complex since it's in urban areas, making it more difficult as they try to evacuate people. But among the devastation, people we spoke with say it's also brought out the good in people. One woman says a neighbor saved her mother's home fighting off the flames with a garden hose. His own home was destroyed just moments before.
After their house burned down, Wade ran into my mom's backyard and started spraying everything with the hose as best he could. Her house made it, and it's entirely because of the neighbors.
Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown calling this the worst disaster in the area's history.
Meantime, a brush fire along I-5 near the Grants Pass Walmart prompted level 3 evacuations, but those have since been downgraded. A shelter has been set up at the Edgewater Christian Fellowship. The Josephine County Sheriff's Office is now reminding people not to fly drones during active fire calls. The Sheriff's Office says flying drones impacts crews trying to fight fires from the air.
And firefighters have made progress containing some of Oregon's largest wildfires, including the bench fire burning in Warm Springs. As of last update, that fire has burned more than 67,000 acres and is now 66% contained. The National Weather Service issued a particular dangerous situation warning for the bench fire. That level is above the standard red flag warning. They say the hot and dry weather combined with strong winds increases the likelihood of fire spread and even the start of new fires.
Biggest concern when we do a particularly dangerous situation is for firefighter safety. That's our primary focus, is that when you're fighting the fires, these conditions can be dangerous and even deadly for firefighters on the line.
Despite the heightened warning, he says firefighters should follow their typical safety rules.
And stay with KGW as we continue to follow the fires burning here in Oregon and in Washington. You can find the latest anytime on air, online, and on our free streaming apps.
Portland police are asking for your help finding this missing 78-year-old. Claudia Grandy has been missing since July 26th. She was last seen at her home in the Montevilla neighborhood. Police say her car, a silver Nissan Rogue with the license plate 915NQC, is also missing. If you see her, call police.
Controversy surrounding Friday's game between the Portland Fire and Indiana Fever after Fever player Sophie Cunningham's comments about transgender athletes. Last month, Cunningham voiced support for barring transgender girls and women from competing in women's sports. Outside the Moda Center, people gathered in support of Cunningham and her stance on transgender athletes, but others were protesting against her comments. Cunningham also received boos when she was on the court during the game.
And during Friday's game against the Fire, Portland season ticket holder says that they were spit on. Shauna Gordon said that they made a personal choice not to stand during the national anthem, something they do every game. That's when they say a man sitting behind them began yelling at them.
He says, "Stand up." And I'm like, obviously not going to stand up because some man is telling me to do so. And then I start feeling something in the back of my neck. And I'm like, okay, what? And I turn and I look over at him and he goes, "Yeah, stand up, stand up." And that's when my wife, as she's standing behind me, says, "Shauna, that's not water, that is spit. You can see the phlegm."
Gordon claims the man then yelled derogatory comments about transgender people. They say after multiple conversations with Moda Center staff, they were moved to another section. The man was escorted out of the building by security, and Portland police say they're investigating this incident as a bias crime.
In the meantime, one of the co-owners of the Seattle Storm was fined and suspended by the WNBA over an incident involving 2 young Indiana Fever fans. Celeste Keaton reportedly confronted 2 girls showing support for Sophie Cunningham. They were seen holding a sign courtside that read, quote, "Thank you, Sophie, for speaking up for girls." The Storm released a statement apologizing for the exchange but did not elaborate on what was said. Keaton has been fined. She is not allowed to attend the team's next 5 home games.
Yesterday was the trade deadline for the WNBA. The Portland Fire, they were all quiet on their end, but it was a different story for their opponents, the LA Sparks. The Sparks dealing star point guard Kelsey Plum to Phoenix. Yesterday was the first Sparks game in Portland since 2002. And it was a physical first half. Beaverton's own Cameron Brink making an impact on both ends of the court. She had some blocks, also had 7 points and 5 rebounds. This was a back and forth game. There were 10 ties and 10 lead changes. Bridget Carlton had the hot hand, hitting 7 3-pointers for the Fire. She led the way with 24 points and 11 rebounds. Her first career double-double, but the Sparks, they got it going in crunch time, outscoring the Fire by 11 points in the second half. LA took home the win 106-101. The Fire losing their 5th straight game, their longest losing streak of the season. Now the Fire have 3 more games on this homestand. Fellow expansion team, the Toronto Tempo, will visit the Fire Pit this Thursday. That's followed by a matchup with the Seattle Storm on Saturday. They have 14 games left in the regular season. Right now, the Fire is sitting at 12th place in the league standings with a record of 11-19.
Time now is 6:10. Headed over to Rod Hill for a look at a map that we don't like to see.
No, we don't. This is going to be quite the week. We have rising temperatures starting today. We have a heat advisory starting tomorrow. We believe it's likely that Portland will reach 100 degrees on Wednesday. And in addition to all of that, we think this could end up being the worst of the wildfire smoke to migrate back over into the Willamette Valley this week that we have seen so far this summer. So here's in the kind of pale orange color from Longview down into Medford. That's a heat advisory starting tomorrow. The gray shades, the current air quality alerts. I think it's likely that eventually the Willamette Valley, as soon as tomorrow, will be under an air quality alert as well. Look at all this smoke, the orange tones that you see up in Washington. Now the flow pattern is already flipping to the northeast today and modeling already starting today. Here's Monday at 6:02, brings that wildfire smoke into the valley and then just continues to push wildfire smoke well off of the coast as we go into the day on Wednesday. So all of that is coming at you this week. Right now it's quite lovely outside, mainly clear skies, Seaside Live, 48 degrees. Here's one of our Timberline cameras, and this is wildfire smoke and haze down low. You can see Jefferson just sticking up above it. The camera view from 6,000 feet looking to the south, 43 up at the lodge. Our temperatures are comfortable this morning. 51 Sherwood, Happy Valley, Oregon City, Gresham, Troutdale, all at 51. We have 47 at McMinnville and 54 degrees on our capital city this afternoon. The cloudiness in reference to wildfire smoke. We have generally 80s inland and 70s at the coast today. 7-day numbers, 87 today. Here comes the impact alert for the hot weather and the wildfire smoke. 98 tomorrow, 101 Wednesday, 95 on Thursday. Wind flows back to the west. On Friday, we'll start to see improving air quality and cooler, more comfortable days going into the weekend. It is quite the forecast, and there you have it.
It sure is, Rod. All right, thank you very much.